Howdy gamers, old gamer guy here. Summer's winding down and I've been kind of lazy about uploading new content, so sorry about that, but this is called the Utility Room. Classic mode is about an hour long, extended mode has some extra chapters and it's about an hour and a half. Casual mode does not tell you a time limit, but it says it can be played sitting down, which kind of implies that the other ones cannot be played sitting down, but I'm going to be playing classic mode and I'm going to be sitting down, so that is possible. But this is one of those kind of artsy, surreal VR experiences, and here we are at the edge of the universe where lies the utility room, the behind the scenes where all the heavy lifting takes place. Beyond its doors, the supreme being, known only as Bin Man or the cosmic caretaker, oversees the work required to keep existence stable and temporal. There have been no work incidents in 13.8 billion years. You are arriving as a tourist. Don't do anything foolish. As if we would ever consider that. So we're basically getting a glimpse behind the scenes of the universe here, I guess. My hands look metallic. My body looks kind of like a chess piece, sort of. Not exactly a body at all. And we are slowly floating toward this distant platform. And once we arrive, we get our first instructions. Some VR games make you move around a little bit more than others. And this one has a mechanic where you jump by holding down the trigger buttons and then swinging your arms. I guess the speed you swing your arms, I guess that is what governs the jump. There is a teleport movement system, but there's also a analog movement system that's on at the same time. Snap turning is on by default, but I'm going to change that to smooth. And right here I was standing up actually, but now I'm sitting on my couch and I'm changing the height offset of the camera. So I'm going to be playing the rest of this sitting down. And like I said, classic mode is only about an hour long. I have finished classic mode and it is about an hour long. I can confirm. But I don't want to spoil too much of the game here. So I'm going to show about the first 7 or 8 minutes, mostly unedited, and then we'll jump forward and I'll show you an area that happens a little bit later in the game. But right here we have some strange drawings and some alien looking language. We have what looks like a stone funnel and a metallic ball floating there. We have sort of a mirror over here, not exactly a mirror, but you can see my weird face reflected there. But it looks to me like they want us to focus our attention on this funnel here. So now I'm just pressing buttons, trying to figure out what the buttons do. And after a while, the game feels sorry for me and gives me a little bit of a hint. So it looks like, what is that, R1 or R2? Holding it down will allow me to grab this ball. And then if I release the button, I will drop the ball. And now these big stone doors start to swing open. But here you can see me moving with the teleport, but I'm also moving with the analog stick. Well, both methods use an analog stick, but the teleportation method is the right stick, the same stick you use to turn. So it is possible to accidentally teleport when you're intending to turn, which is not a great thing. The good news is you cannot teleport off the edge of a cliff, but if you are also moving with the left stick and you accidentally teleport, that is possible to give you a fatal accident, just to let you know. But here we are arriving at the next puzzle, I guess you would call it very loosely. Here we have another sign with some alien writing, but this time when I go to touch one of these metallic spheres, they drop, they break, And clearly that was not a good thing, because this weird umbilical cord or whatever the hell that is, it stopped moving. And now suddenly I'm kind of teleporting around. I can't really move. I can look around, but I can't move otherwise. And then these weird faces are looking at me. And now suddenly here I am in this cave. It's all very surreal. And of course, being in VR makes it even more so. Here we see a rock seemingly moving on its own, and that's going to be a more important element a little further on. But I think you're getting the idea of what this game is. You move from area to area. Not all of the areas have actual gameplay. Sometimes you're just literally walking through and looking at things. Sometimes there are very basic platforming elements. Sometimes very basic puzzle solving, I guess. And then every once in a while you can jump with the teleporter. Sometimes you have to jump with the VR moving your arms method. But here I am actually trying to teleport into this chasm, and it can't be done. So I can relax about that. But here I am going to do another jump by swinging my arms, and I just barely make it. But good enough. Let's move on. By now, you may be getting the impression that this is a very linear game, and you would be correct. There are some areas that kind of give you the illusion of a larger world, but gameplay-wise, you're just really going from A to B. And here we are at the end of this section. Being a longtime gamer, I know exactly what a hole in the floor means, especially if there's no other exit in the room. So here we are, ready to move on into this next area, which looks, you know what? It looks a lot like the previous area. And that is kind of a theme in the game. You do go inside, you do go outside, and some spaces do look a little bit more surreal than others. Here we get a look at the larger world. There's a gigantic, what appears to be an Easter Island statue down there in the canyon, and it's slowly moving. Later on in the game, you actually go through one of those canyons and you see one of those gigantic Easter Island statues. But right now we are winding around, going back inside. Here we have another area, and once again, I think you're getting the idea of what's going on here. That previous room was just some basic platforming, but a little bit further into the game, we see this area, which looks very cool indeed. And this could almost count as a major spoiler, because this might be the most intense gameplay in the whole game, at least in classic mode. But spoiler alert, I'm going to show you what that gameplay entails. I did die a few times trying to make it through this area. Right there, I just fell off on my own. But eventually, if you die enough times, the game feels sorry for you, and it tells you to press the circle button to get a hint about what to do. And so in this area, I need to jump on that giant rock that's going underneath the platform. There are 2 or 3 smaller rocks that are moving on their own. They will knock me off if I allow them to. There are some spaces where you can do a short teleport and kind of fake out those rocks. They are moving faster than I am, so here I am doing a little bit of teleporting to gain some ground on that rock that was behind me. I'm not really sure at this point exactly where the giant rock is that I need to jump on. So I decided to keep running this way. Eventually, when I get far enough over here, you will see the previous rock. There it is. You can see it moving up the passageway there. and the next rock does not move into the room until the previous one is almost gone. So now I know that the next rock is just barely inside the room. I could go over here and wait for it, but I'm not sure if the smaller rocks could get to me over there. So I decided to come back toward the middle. And now I can see that larger rock slowly moving toward the middle here. And if I time it right, I can just drop through a hole in the floor and drop down onto that large rock. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. This was my successful run here, but I put it in the video because this section of the game has to be, and I'm not exaggerating here, this has to be the most elaborate level, I guess you could call it, and the most intense gameplay in the game. So if elaborate levels and intense gameplay are what you're looking for, you might want to skip this, because a lot of it is just actually walking and looking around. There's some basic platforming here and there, and some very basic puzzle solving, I suppose. But a lot of it is just walking and looking around, and it's only about $18, I think. So, you know, for me, that was fine, and I am enjoying this, but, you know, just be aware of what you're buying when you get into this. But I hope you have enjoyed this video. I have been buying a few games lately. I bought the PS5 version of Doom 1 and Doom 2, another VR game called Infinite Inside, and a game called Operation Polygon Storm. So I'll probably be making videos of those very soon. And I have at least one more video in mind for 7 Days to Die. And then, of course, other games are being released all the time, so who the hell knows what I'll be playing. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.